conspiracies and all that, but it's really not, folks. It's really, this is it, right? What we've been handed is a system of usury, debt, right? Built on struggles, right? Built on taking more from, out of the pockets of people through taxes and all kinds of different systems and things that are in place, and taking the power out of really our funds, out of our money, out of our everyday transactions, right? That's what it is. So this decentralized Bitcoin, decentralization, that eliminated all that with one white paper. But are we going to start to learn it? Are we going to adopt it? Are we going to start to utilize it, which is what's starting to happen, right? And for our benefit, it almost has to happen. We don't have a lot, we don't have, really have a choice based off what's going on nowadays. Look around, right? So decentralization allows us to have power. I remember when Janet Yellen, it was back in 2016. I believe she's over some type of, I can't remember Janet Yellen's position. Somebody put it in the chat, but she's high up, Congress, Senate, all that stuff with the government's financial whatever. She's up there. And I remember her saying in 2016, we have no authority, we have no power, we have no jurisdiction, and there's no legislation over this technology. And she said that. And you can go find the video. I'm gonna find the video and share it with the group. But when she said that, I was like, wow, they just admitted they can't win. They don't know what they're talking about when it comes to this technology. And you look at that timeline from 2016 to now, what has taken place? Ask yourself, if you're familiar with crypto, if you've been in the blockchain space, what's taking place? It's the same. They still don't know what they're talking about. Almost a decade later, they still do not have jurisdiction. They have no power. They have no control because we have more servers. And I'm not going to get into all that stuff. We have more computers, more phones, all of us collectively, the peer-to-peer community, the global aspect of this decentralized world, we outweigh the power that they could possibly even yield. They could never yield the power as a collective that we yield in a decentralized platform or the decentralized world. So just a little tidbit there. I'm making this stuff up, this stuff I've learned over the time, right? It's a self-sustaining ecosystem. This is powerful. This is what keeps the wheel turning. This is what connects the system to the people, right? What we do means it just, man, it almost is, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but as long as we're in agreement, as long as we're utilizing the platform, as long as we're doing what's required in the platform, it's going to grow. It's going to feed itself. We don't need new money. You hear about that all the time. Oh, they making money from the money coming in. That doesn't exist here. Now, we love that because it does give us growth. It does, give us more leverage, more liquidity for sure. But we don't necessarily need new people. We don't have to have new money coming in for this to be self-funded and self-sustained. We don't need it. We can continue doing what we're doing right now with the group that we have right now and win significantly. But we would love to have more people, obviously. That's why we're doing these presentations, because we want more people on the train, right? Liquidity provision, this thing is amazing. Watching the liquidity provision at work, I had never seen it before. I know what liquidity is, right? But I didn't know that someone could create this situation where the actual algorithm, right, the technology on the back end really keeps the ecosystem healthy, the token healthy, right? It keeps the whales at bay, right? It balances. It keeps the checks and balances right. I mean, it allows us to grow and not have to really be concerned with, any of those types of situations that we've been in. If you've been in the chat, let me know. Put one in the chat if you've been in those deals where you were you just couldn't, you were looking forward to the token, going to a penny or going to a certain number, right? Oh, I can't, I just hope it goes to $1, right? And you know what that happened. You know what happened in that deal, right? Put a one in the chat if you've been in those deals where, you bought the token at, 0.0000 whatever. And they just said, if it just goes to 5 cents, if it just goes to 10 cents, if it just goes to $1, right? Matter of fact, I know I'm still holding tokens like XRP and these different tokens that are out here. For years I've been holding these deals and they're still where they are, right? Because the liquidity really, there's nothing there to really give us that type of I would say that type of security, That's what the liquidity provision does. It gives us security in the market. Regardless of what's happening, we're always having a sustainable, secure provisioning going on in the market. When there's selling going on and taking place in the market, guess what? The liquidity provision knows when to inject liquidity, right? And keep the market stable. It's an amazing thing. And it doesn't take someone pushing a button to do it. It already knows when to do it, right? So we've seen this thing perform. And this is why MoveQuest stands out. I kind of stayed right here a little bit just to give you a little bit more, because there's a lot of stuff out there, right? There's a lot of different platforms out there, crypto this and trading this and this trap, but a lot of them don't have the things for a long, sustainable run. They just don't, right? And they're not built to, and it's okay. But we got to start, wising up and working a lot smarter and not harder when it comes to validating these platforms and vetting out these concepts that are out here. And this helps just a little bit, right? A lot, actually. It actually does, because in my eyes, being in the space for a while and what I've seen so far, I can see how much more efficient this system works and how the volatility doesn't really exist here. That's really an issue in the platform, in the space, is volatility, how things, the ebbs and flows, the buys and low, the buys and the sales, and what do you call it, the pumps and the dumps. You've seen those things take place. Doesn't exist here with MoveQuest. So how does it work? How does it actually work? They're components of the system, right? You have the app, you have the miners, you have the doc slots, and you have the evolution process, right? These are added another one. The evolution to me is a component of the system. I mean, people are winning because of the evolution. I had to add that in there. I was like, the doc slots, yeah, but what about how do you get more power? You got to have the evolution, right? So let's get into it. The app, of course, MoveQuest will be available for download on Android and iOS devices. It syncs with Google Fit, Apple Health to track user activities such as steps, distance, calories, workouts, and sleep. Users earn rewards based on their daily physical activities. This is what it's going to look like currently. We're still with GetFit, but eventually, very soon, we're going to go into beta here with the new app, and everybody will have access to it, and you'll be looking at something like this, right? New app, new logo, everything's different. Everything's everything's just next level. It's a multi-billion-dollar brand, in my opinion. And when you see it, you'll agree, right? So this is coming soon. So that's the app. You got to have the app. You download the app. Be familiar with that, right? The miners. Earnings are based on daily activity and the mining capacity users obtain, gamifying the experience to encourage activity. Users need at least one digital miner to start earning, which can be upgraded for increased capacity. Each account can maintain up to 8 active miners, right? They're called linees, primaries, ultras, alphas, and omegas. Here's the capacity for each one of these miners. You can have a variety of these. All 8 can be omegas. All 8 can be primaries. Combination. You definitely want to have 8 miners, right? Because you want to always think about eventually having 8 omegas at 400% capacity on each one of those, right? That's where you want to end up. But get started. Don't worry about it. Where you're going to fit. Just think about just getting started, getting position. That's the key. Get a miner, a single miner. $50 is a single liney. After acquiring each miner, the mining dock slots must be unlocked to utilize their power. Each miner must be placed in one of the 8 available docking slots to maximize mining power per account, which is crucial for increasing daily shares and determining daily token rewards, right? The first slot, we give you a free slot. You put the $50 liney right in that free slot, dip your toe in the water, right? Just getting a feel for how it works, right? Get comfortable with, downloading and doing all the things that's required to get this up and running. It's a little bit of a process, a little technical, but it's not hard, right? Good thing is that you've had a phone forever and you can navigate through the phone, follow instructions, follow PDFs, follow videos, push pause. I mean, we've got all that stuff. We've got live. I'll get into that later, but we've got all kinds of stuff to make sure that you get this stuff done, right? So each of these docking slots has a price, has a fee for unlocking the slot. My slide looks funny like that. But anyway, so you'll have some outlay of cash or outlay of asset to actually open each one of these docking slots and to put the NFTs in each one to actually activate to start to earn and get your rewards. Now, evolve for more power. Start with a Lenny. Purchase a Lenny for $50, 50% power. Evolve one Lenny to primary for $50, you get 100% power. Primary to ultra, $75, 150%. Ultra to alpha, $100, 200%. You get the point. Every time you evolve or upgrade these miners, you get more power, right? That means more capacity to earn, right? And a lot of other things that we haven't seen yet. The new app is going to be really, really cool. We got boosts in there and all kinds of other things that are going to really gamify the experience as well when you're dealing with these NFTs or these miners as well. It's going to be really, really fun. A lot of fun we're going to have with this. So merge two alphas, $100 each for 400% power to get that one omega. And that's where you want to end up, folks. That's when you want to evolve to omegas. Now, how do you get started? Real simple. Of course, your privacy always does matter. MoveQuest prioritizes user privacy by ensuring that personal information is not shared with third parties or stored on servers. All transactions occur directly on the blockchain, guaranteeing transparency and privacy protection. Just want to let you know, if you're worried about that, you need to email Google and Apple or whatever platform you're on, because they're already doing it. They're already taking all your information. Matter of fact, they're watching you, they're listening to you. You know, it's pretty amazing. Who's figured it out by now that they're listening? You know, or even almost like reading your mind. You know, put a two in the chat if you've thought about something or you've said something and had a brief conversation, and then you went right to your phone and guess what? There was an ad for it. Put a two in the chat. You know what I'm talking about, right? There is no privacy, right? But for GetFit or MoveQuest, it does matter, right? So we just take that data that they're already taking, your steps, your calories, your, everything. They're tracing your heart rate, your everything, right? Your breathing. I mean, this new technology is pretty awesome, but it's very invasive. But we don't take that data and sell it off to the highest bidder, right? We take that information and then we reward you for it, right? For those steps and those calories, et cetera, the things that we reward you for, right? So, I mean, if they're going to take it anyway, why not get paid? That's how I feel about it. They're going to take it anyway. We might as well start to make money from my data, right? It's good stuff. So your privacy does matter here. Setup is simple. Create a DApp wallet. We have MetaMask. We have a Trust Wallet. Pretty simple stuff. I mean, if you've never dealt with that, if you're in crypto, you've been in crypto a while, you know what we're talking about. If you're not in crypto, it's just another download, right? It's something you got to set up an account, write all your seed phrases down, write all your passwords down, make sure that you're pretending at this point, not pretending, you become the bank when you get involved here. If you're brand new, you become a bank, right? So protect your bank. What would you do if you had a vault? Would you just have the key stuck in the hole and just anybody can walk up, turn it, and open the vault, or would you hide the key? Right? Would you have the code written down? Would you have your phrases and your passwords in a safe place, in a lock and key safe? Something like, think about that. So setup is simple, but there are some key things we want to educate you on as well to protect your assets as you accumulate and as you start to earn here, right? Android, download Google Fit. iOS, download Apple Health. Download the GetFit mining app. Soon to be MoveQuest. Fund your wallet with MQT, which is our asset that we're accumulating here, the Bitcoin on steroids, so to speak. MoveQuest token, USDT. It's just a standard fiat currency, a dollar, one for one on the dollar, and then AVAX is our gas, right? That's how we execute these transactions with AVAX, right? It handles the calls to the blockchain. When I say calls, basically when you're executing these calls or these transactions on the blockchain, you're pulling the data from the blockchain and you're placing a gas fee in to actually execute that process, right? That's what that is. So that's how that works. And we have videos and we have training. We have all this stuff to help. If you're brand new, we got you, right? That's the setup. Plug into a system. So once you've got everything set up, we've got all that, all your fiat money moved into AVAX and AVAX into MQT. And then we've got, your miners in place. You've got some doc, you've got a one lineage, you got five, whatever it is. We want you to plug into the system. Save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. It's I've known this and studied this kind of stuff for years, and everywhere that I've had a lot of success has been because there was a system of duplication, right? Something that someone else that I could share this with could follow because I proved it, right? Because I'm in the system and I share with them, hey, just plug into the system, right? You don't want to be that person asking the same question, right, in the Telegram because you're not plugged in on the Zoom. We just answer the question. You want to be the person plugged in. That way you can share with your group. And then you don't want to be the person bringing people to the platform and saying, go get them, Tiger, and throwing them in the chat. You want to plug your people. You want to guide your people. You want to help them get started. You want them to engage with them, give them your experience, show them what you've learned, right? And plug them into the community, just like you. trainings, webinars, utilize live support, educate yourself. That's key. We've got training, we've got webinars for, the under the hood stuff. We've got Mr. Ivy every day of the week, just about, sharing the presentation of, how this works, why this works, all kinds of incredible education. He has education for crypto platform, ICLA. We've got a lot of great tools and different things that help you start to really engage this platform, this ecosystem, so to speak, where you can educate yourself and help other people get started as well. Make an impact. There you go. Help other people get started. Right. This is a one reach one, teach one type of platform. Right. If you're a builder, maybe you have a community. That's great too. Right. We have a place for people that are builders and have, a lot of people they want to engage at the same time. We do Zooms outside of these Zooms for that as well to make sure maybe you need more, more structured environment. Great. We'll do that too. Right. We want to make sure everybody gets what they need to get started, right? To get engaged, to get into the earning, right, of this platform, and then be able to make an impact and share with other people. So the system is here for you. Don't worry about it. We got you, right? We got telegrams, and of course we're working on, Discord. We've got Facebook groups. We got WhatsApp. We got these webinars every single day of the week as well, right? So we got you on that. Plug into the system now. GetFit is dynamic, explosive, and life changing. MoveQuest leverages blockchain technology, smart contracts, and community involvement to create a sustainable economic environment. Users can earn daily rewards by providing their proof of physical activity using devices they already own, like smartphones. No, you got one. Smartwatches and fitness bands, right? The more you move, the more you earn. It's that simple. Just putting it in a nutshell, right? Now, some of the things that I'm kind of excited about as well, the future timeline. I added a new slide because I think it's important that people know that it's even bigger than what I just showed you, right? I want to bring on my good friend, my sponsor, Mr. Herschel Crow, because he breaks this stuff down in a way to where, anything that may be super technical or super advanced, he can make it make sense to you, bring it down to a level to where you grasp it. And really, it's self-explanatory when you see it, but to understand how this works in the system, I think is really, really important. So, Mr. Crow, help come on and share with the people what the challenges mean, the leasing, the marketplace here with the new MoveQuest app. What makes this significant? What makes it even more powerful than what we even just explained or went over? Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for not letting me see the slide before the meeting.
Yeah, it was real simple, real
But
simple.
no, once again, wonderful job, Ken. And you know, one of the things that I always like to highlight, and because I think it really meshes and it will follow in line with the things that I'm seeing on the screen right now, is that we're talking about being able to enhance our financial well-being through this platform. But I cannot leave out the fact that the health benefits that are coming from utilizing the platform because we're being incentivized for those digital rewards on a daily basis. And that feeds into the community and the overall lifestyle that Ken was explaining at the beginning of the call. As a result of that, that community is becoming it will not become, it is a social community. We've seen what happens with, different social media platforms and things of that nature. But just think about a community of people that are all engaged in their physical activity and bringing them together on a day-to-day basis where there's truly getting something out of it, not just sending, cute pictures and things like that, like you see on social media platforms, but being able to be engaged on a daily basis. Right now, we're engaging, as individuals with ourselves or with our close friends and family members, maybe with our physical activity. But in the near future, the way this platform has been designed is to create structured events where individuals can engage on a global scale with their physical activity, which will continue to enhance the incentive and the desire and the excitement around providing their physical activity and engagement, but they will also be able to earn from participating in those challenges. Furthermore, individuals that are creative, that can come up with cool, fun, exciting, ways to actually present challenges, will also be able to either A, earn extra income or make it their sole income source if they're creative enough to create in further or large enough engagement from the community, things or activities that are fun, that the platform and the ecosystem that has been built will actually track on a consistent basis, where no one has to worry about being cheated, taken advantage of, or any of those type of things, because everything is being monitored and tracked through our smartphones and our fitness bands on the blockchain, the same way we're recording our physical activity and submitting it on a daily basis. So that is a very, very huge component from a financial standpoint that will also continue to drive the physical activity that's enhancing individuals' well-being. As you can see right now, the community is growing. Again, we're only 60 days into this thing. Community is growing. People are learning what this is all about. People are, starting to share more with other people, and engagement will continue to increase. As such, which is a good thing, the value of the assets that we're acquiring right now will continue to go up in value as more people come into the ecosystem. When that happens, because this platform has a low barrier of entry and is accessible to everyone. However, when the price of the assets go up, and when I say assets, I'm speaking in terms of the miners, the mining docks, and things like that, and the submission fee. Some of those things will go up as the ecosystem grows and the value of the token increases. But some individuals may eventually get to the point where they may not be able to come in and obtain as many assets as we're able to do now with a $50 Lenny, right? So eventually that $50 Lenny that we're getting right now may be a 1 MQT. And I'm just using this as an example because I have no idea what that ticket will look like. But imagine if 1 MQT is $500 one day, and the person is trying to get started, it may be difficult for them to acquire 8 or 9 or 10 Lennies. However, this platform is structured so that everyone will still be able to participate, because people will be able to come in and lease miners that they may not be able to afford from other members of the community that have acquired those assets, that are willing to allow them to lease them, not necessarily with their money, but with their physical activity. So people will be encouraged or incentivized, again, to use their physical activity to enhance their digital asset portfolio until they can get to the point to where they are able to afford or build their portfolios, whether it be out of pocket or the profit that they're generating from leasing the miners from others. And for those that are acquiring or that see the vision behind what I'm talking about right now, can see the opportunity in, or the potential of acquiring more assets right now, while the values or the prices are lower than we're projecting them to be in the future, so that now they're sitting on assets that have the ability to provide them passive income in the future. Then many of us haven't necessarily either grasped, or may not have been present when it's been explained about the different attributes associated with each of the miners. No two miners are exactly the same. They all have different elements or aspects associated with them. As such, if you go through, and I'm just using this as one example, if you go through and learn and understand what each of the elements is associated with each one of the miners, you will see that if you have the miners that fit the activities that you do most of the time. For example, if you are a person that walks a lot and you walk outside, or the physical activity that you're putting forth when you choose your workouts every day is an outdoor activity, well, you position yourself to earn a little bit more or to get closer to reaching your maximums every day if your miners have the nature element, for example, versus let's say you had a water element. Well, if you are a swimmer or you like to kayak or whatever the case may be, those particular miners would reward you a little bit more because you're doing water related activities. So each one of the miners has an element associated with it. So let's just say in the future, if you know that if you had more nature minors than you did water, passion, or art, or some of the other minors that's out there, that if you could trade or swap or even just purchase another minor that was more in line with the activities that you do on a daily basis, you would be able to earn more from your physical activity daily, which means there are going to be some people that are willing to pay a little bit more to gain access to the miners that are going to pay them more long term. So I'll use myself as an example. Well, I'm not in the water that often. So if I have water miners, I may put my miners, my water miners, in the marketplace and put them up for sale for someone that lives on the coast that's always in the water. And they are going to want to potentially acquire, purchase, or swap those miners, and individuals will be able to earn additional revenue from buying miners, seeing what those elements are, and putting them on the marketplace. Why? Because when we actually acquire our miners and when we mint them, we don't know what we're getting back because they're being minted in real time and it's all random. So if a person comes in and they say they understand this process, there's going to be people that come in and go straight to the marketplace instead of minting and evolving. They're going to come straight in and just buy off the shelf what they know is going to make them more or be more beneficial to them long term. So that's what the marketplace is going to actually look like. And then just imagine a community continuing to grow, the value of the assets within this community becoming more valuable. Then in that same marketplace, you start seeing goods, products, and services being offered in that same marketplace that what? Accept MQT as form of payment. Now that MQT takes on a different connotation in that type of environment. That's where the growth comes. People say, what can I do with it? What if you didn't even have to cash it out? You could actually trade or buy goods and services and get the things that you need. I'm not saying this is going to become Amazon, but it can be a big marketplace if you have a lot of people and you have the assets there. Why? Because anytime you have a lot of people or a large group of people that are moving in the same direction, there's always going to be other businesses that have goods, services, ideas, or projects that want access to that community of people for their benefit. And it can become a win-win when you have a synergistic, objective in mind. So those are some of the things to look forward to as this ecosystem continues to grow and prosper as it has been in short. And last but not least, When we start looking, boy, that was I see. And
So
last,
I did that, didn't you?
and last but
Hey, you
not
on
least,
fire, man. You on fire.
and last but not least, let's go back to that group of people. When you have, and when we talk about projects wanting access, especially in the crypto space, when you have a large community of people that are engaged in crypto, that means, and you have a crypto project and you want to get that crypto project off the ground, what do? You want to get in front of people that already understand crypto, that are already engaged in it, that already have wallets, that know how to send, receive, swap, exchange, and all of those type of things. So when you have a platform like this, it is extremely appealing to a project that's just getting started. The way this ecosystem has been developed, it's been developed as an airdrop engine. That's what this is. This is flour, if you will. This is flour. The bakery has been built and flour has been put on the counter. As a result, what kind of dessert do you want to make? So when these other projects see that's in place, they want access to me and you, a peer-to-peer community that's engaged. And in order for them to access us through this airdrop system, two things have been put in place to help clean up the crypto space. And not only that, to protect the people that are in this ecosystem. This project will allow other projects to airdrop their tokens into the ecosystem. So the same physical activity that we're producing on a daily basis, and we're mining MQT with that. Just imagine if there was 4, 5, 6 other tokens on the Avalanche chain that we were getting every day also, that didn't cost us any more in mining equipment or anything like that. All we had to do was claim it when we submit and claim it. And now that comes into our wallets. Why is that important to another project? Because if we're getting these tokens, what are we going to do? We're going to want to know what this token is. What is this token about? What is the value of this token? Who's behind that project? What are they doing? What does their roadmap look like? What is the long-term viability of that project? Do these tokens have future value? Well, guess what? In order for them to airdrop them into the ecosystem, I think we have none better than the creator of this project that says, hey, if you want to airdrop those tokens to this community, you I have to vet you. I have to know what your project is about. I have to see the contracts. I have to see what the business model is so that I can determine whether or not it's a sustainable project that I'm willing to put in front of the community that has been or that is engaging in the platform that I've created. And because there's projects on multiple blockchains that are going to want access to that audience, in order for them to be able to airdrop those tokens into our engine, we have to actually be mining on the blockchain that their project is on. That is why we're going on multiple blockchains. It's not a money grab, it's a positioning concept so that we can be in the places where people or projects want to provide additional digital assets to us that we're able to mine daily with the same physical activity that we're already producing. That's the future of what this project has in store. And it's just a matter of whether or not, especially for those of you that are on the call for the first time, whether or not that makes enough sense to you to get involved at whatever level that may be at this particular time, and determine what you're going to do as things progress. Back to you, Ken.
Yeah, it's man, it's a pleasure working with people that know how this thing really works at different levels. That was a masterclass. The last two slides, I mean, he really brought it home what we're really engaged with right here. When you said an airdrop system, I mean, the airdrop space is huge. There's trillions of dollars that come from airdrops every single year. I mean, hundreds of billions, millions, trillions of dollars in and out of that space. So just imagine having, someone said in the chat, someone like Lynette making sure that everything, all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted before we even entertain any airdrops, right? But all in all, you're still looking at the top 10 blockchains globally she's mentioned multiple times. Arbitrum, Polkadot, Polygon. I think this is Chainlink, another one, whatever. Base, Solana. There's so many, that are already knocking at the door, looking to participate, with our community. And we're just a baby. Just think about that. What we've accomplished in a very short time is strong enough to already have these other blockchains um, looking at us and saying, hey, that may be somewhere we want to, engage. That may be a community that we want to be a part of our next project, vice, so forth and so on. So it's really, really exciting to see, what's possible here. The potential here is huge. And I'll just cover this slide because I like to have fun with it. But the vision that I got, when I started really diving into what we were doing here, is this right here. It's okay to be a copycat as long as you're copying the right cat. Or at the bottom there, vision is the art of seeing what's invisible to others. This is what I saw. This is what I saw. I said, "Wow, we're dealing with an asset like Bitcoin, the world's most successful, asset in the history of ever. There's nothing that has been more uh, profound, more successful than Bitcoin, and it's still growing. Think about that. It's still a baby, right? It's amazing. Then you've got the brand, Apple, name it, whatever brand. The brand that we're creating, the through the app and just the look, the feel, the aesthetic of it, it's gonna be very, very, very powerful. You're gonna be proud of the brand. You're gonna be excited to share the brand. Um, it's gonna be everything that you could imagine a brand being, right? If you look at the look and feel and just how it works, how it moves, how it allows you to make life a little easier from the enrollment flow, all kinds of stuff that are going to be in the new app that you're going to be excited about, right? The brand, Pokemon, Go, the potential, just the virality of it, right? Think about any apps that are out there. Look at Candy Crush or, of course, Pokemon Go and all these apps that have been around for years. These games, these attention getting apps, that have really got us stuck in these devices, right? And people really earning nothing, no one's losing weight, no one's changing their monetary situation engaging these games or these apps that are out here for the most part, right? So just imagine if we could tap into some of that growth. Pokemon Go I think had 260 million downloads. I see something like that happening, maybe 2.6. Can we get 2.6 million people in globally? We're already in Australia and Canada and I've seen Fiji on the Zooms. I've seen all over the US on the Zooms, right? All over the world already. And we're just not even 90 days. We're 80 days today is 80 days in this process of engaging the global community about what we're doing. So, what is that? About 5,000 or 6,000 or so wallets, right? 4 million or so paid out already, right? You're looking at communities already kind of looking at what we're doing. We're holding it down on the coin market cap, trending and gaining and sustaining where we are. It's a very solid project. We've got this liquidity provision that it just, keeps the marketplace healthy, keeps the community, healthy, keeps the excitement going for the community. It keeps the growth happening in the community. We've got strong buy sell pressure, traders in there. We got all the little different things that make a community and make a project pop right here. But we need you to see value and to get involved and be a part of that chain gang, right? With the next person, the next person, the next person. And that's happening. We're averaging a decent number of people every single day since we started, right? But Project 10,000, that number 10,000 is significant here. It's very significant. and we're excited about it. So I know we're going to hit this number before the year ends. The question is, where you're going to be a part? Are you going to watch? You know, my good friend Chad Robinson says three things you can do. You can get on the train, right? Sit back and watch the train pass you by, or you can get run over by the train. I don't want you to get run over because the lives that have been changed already, this is only going to get sweeter for those people. It's only going to get more impactful for those people. We're not going backwards, we're going forward. And you being a part of this, hopefully you want to be involved. You want to be on that train, right? So that's a little bit of the vision there, a little bit. Hope you enjoyed this presentation tonight. That's my time. That's our time. MoveQuest, just move. That's really what it's all about. We have a new brand coming out. We've got incredible things that are happening behind this from the app that are going to blow you away. And you know, we've got a token that's performing like I've never seen anything perform like this before. You know, the way that it just keeps performing each and every day. And every single person that's involved in this platform is getting paid. Everybody is earning every single day. They're accumulating this asset. They're, you know, holding the asset. A lot of people should be holding, right? Because we know where we're headed. We know that this asset has the ability to appreciate just like Bitcoin, right? Over time. But time's a lot shorter and a lot faster here because there's nothing tainting this project. It's really up to us. It's really up to the people. For the first time you've been involved, you're going to be involved in a project that's really controlled and driven by us, by the community. There's no owner, there's no business, there's no company, there's no building. It's really a truly decentralized platform, and that should excite you. So that's my time. I hope I got a couple of testimonials here. I know I want a couple of people to share and give the testimonials. If you're in the chat, you got a good word, you know, 2 minutes, keep it at 2 minutes. We're right at the top of the hour. It'd be great to wrap this up and get on with our evening. Oh, Kenny Taylor, Mr. Taylor, good to have you on, my friend. Here we go. Let me get you unmuted. Give it to us. I know you got some good stuff going on over there. What's going on?
Good evening, sir. Mr. Kim, Mr. Herschel, the group. This is not really a testimonial. I wanted to bring some numbers to the table to kind of what I feel puts where we're at in perspective versus where people are today and where most of us have come from, including myself. This is a report that was put out by Investopedia this week, and it's the cost of the American dream and the numbers they put together, what it would cost someone today raising a family to live the so-called American dream. And I know a lot of people here from around the world, but you can, put these numbers to where you're at. But they estimate that it's going to take $4.4 million for an average family to reach the level to have that dream life that everyone wants. And they kind of broke it down. Retirement, 1.6 million. And that's saving for 20 years. Then buying a new car, 2 adults, over a certain period of time, $811,000. Weddings, $44.3 thousand. Raising 2 kids from 17 through putting them through college, $832,000. Buying a home, $930,000. If you have pets, $36,000.
Wow.
Annual vacations, taking a vacation every year for about 20 years, $179,000. And even funeral costs they have in there at $8,000. And this is from what they say from 25 to about 75. I'm 57. I don't have time to save up to try and meet this or get that. But for me, where we're at right now with this platform and what we're doing, it gives me a chance to live this and accumulate this and create generational wealth for my nephew and my nephews and nieces and my kids. this kind of blew my mind. But at the same time, the first thing I thought about when I saw this is MoveQuest, GetFit, because everyone here now has the opportunity to live this type of life, to achieve these numbers just by moving, not working, 60-hour work weeks, 2, 3 jobs just to survive, actually accumulate this type of wealth and live a life that everyone wants to live, not having to worry about bills, not having to worry about, if you can send your kids to college, not having to worry about, oh, my car breaks down, what am I going to do? 4.4 million, and you put it in perspective to what we're doing now, seems like nothing. Over the next year, 5 years, 10 years, we can look back at this in a year or 2 years from now and be like, I'm there. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there and give everyone a different perspective of moving a little bit every day and looking at the goals you're trying to accomplish is within your reach now. It's not a dream. They call it the American dream. We grew up hearing that, go to college, get a job to live the American dream, which is so far out of so many people's reach. But the few thousand people that are in this community right now, it is at your fingertips. It is at anybody's fingertips that you tell about this project and bring them in to say you can have that dream. Now, for you and Herschel, hey, 4.4 million where you live, that's good. Now, if you live on the East Coast or West Coast, you probably need to add a couple more million.
Yeah, it's a little different.
You're still probably struggling at that. But just to say, people, we're there. And just what Ken and Herschel put out tonight of what's coming, this is very attainable for anybody who gets involved.
Absolutely.
So that's all I wanted to say.
That was beautiful, man. Because and you think about all these meetings that we've had with Lynette over the last few months. I mean, she showed us the numbers. She showed us the numbers, and those numbers, that 4.4 million is absolutely doable. Absolutely, there'll be people there. I don't know the time. Time is the only variable that we can't really control, right? But in the next few months, a couple of quarters go by, that 4.4 million, there'll be some of us that will have that. I'm just going to be really honest with you because math is just math. There is no gray area. It's specific. It's a number because of other numbers. It's a formula. Like she knows the math, and she has numbers that have come on the screen that have really blown us away. And we almost check out like, is that real? Is that attainable? And then when the token hit 100, we were like, oh, okay. But we're gonna have to come into agreement, Kenny. As a community, we're gonna have to say who really is here for that type of potential, because it's up to us. Like I don't know if people really get that. Like it really depends on how we move collectively, right? We can all get there, right? It's a truly decentralized, self-sustained, self-promoted, self-growing ecosystem driven by the people. And it's definitely attainable, man. So yeah, good numbers. And I love the infographics. I love that stuff because it makes it real, right? These are I mean, especially from Investopedia. I mean, they know the numbers, right? They know the numbers, man. And yeah, it's rough out there right now, the stuff that we're dealing with. And so many other advantages to being in the space we're in right now, too, being in decentralization and different things. We go down a rabbit hole, but there are advantages to really taking heed to what Mr. Taylor's saying and taking advantage of this platform, holding, this asset and moving and accumulating this asset each and every day into the future. So good stuff, Mr. Taylor. Appreciate you. Miss Judy, what is going on?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me
What's up?
okay?
We can hear you.
Well, Okay, I just wanted to touch on what Kenny was talking about in terms of numbers. And today, a really important number for me was the number 8, because last night I just hit the 8 Omega Club on one of
That's
my
what's up.
devices. So I'm
Congratulations.
real happy about
Congratulations.
that. And so I've got my miners on the second device, and I'm about to load up those miners on the third device. So I'm happy.
Awesome. Congrats. I know that's right. Yeah. Join the 8 Omega, the 8 slots. Really just get the 8 docking slot open, and whatever combination you have, strive to just get to Omega in each one of those slots. And you'll be at that highest capacity, and you'll be able to accumulate. As long as you're moving and you're grinding it out, you can accumulate a whole lot more MQT on a daily basis. Really excited about that. So congratulations on that, Judy. That's awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Who else we got out there? Anybody else? Are we wrapping this thing up? Any of the leadership? Mr. Brandon Ivy, want to add anything? You're going to be on tomorrow morning, kind of going back on the system, folks. These calls, we have about, I don't know, 4 to 5, maybe almost close to 6,000 people in the network. We want to pack these things out because while I'm here watching the chats on this, I'm seeing people ask questions. I'm like, why are you on? You should be learning. You should be engaging. You should be having the people that you're inviting to the platform on these Zooms as well, because Mr. Crow went on a tangent and we all learned something, right? Like, you don't want to miss these Zooms. So, Mr. Ivy, give us some good stuff here and let's wrap this thing up, man. Appreciate you as usual.
I appreciate all of you guys. There's nothing more I need to add. I mean, Herschel really broke it down, and it's great when you have people that come into this thing and they know more than you do. I've sponsored Herschel. He knows more
Yes.
about this than I do. But only thing I can say too is guys, accumulate. Think of it like the early days of Bitcoin. The first 11 years ago, a history was made today. A wallet moved Bitcoin for the first time in 11
Oh,
years.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
wallet, when it first accumulated its Bitcoin, it was, I think, no, not 1,400. It was around $79,000 worth of Bitcoin. Today, it's worth 6 million. 11 years later. Now, we can't speculate as to what this price could be. What we do know, it will be higher than what it is right now. And I keep saying it, MQT is going to be so valuable. Each MQT you get, it's going to be rare. You see somebody that has one MQT or 5 MQTs. And so if you've got some now, you might try to hold on to that. I know selling for 20,000, 30,000 might sound good. It might feed a right now need, but you're going to be hurting 6 months from now, a year from now, when you see what the price of it is then. So be responsible with it. This community has been doing good, pretty good so far. And get yourself educated, plug into the system, stay plugged in. We also want to give our thoughts and prayers out, concerns for what's going on with Florida, South Carolina, the East Coast. Which just my son is
All that.
on me every 5 minutes about that Hurricane Milton. If you are in the path of that, do whatever you got to do to be safe. This is the second most powerful storm currently right now on this side of the planet in the past 150 years. We've never seen anything like this. And so let's keep those individuals in mind, and lives that are going to be upturned. But on the flip side of that is we have an opportunity that can generate a revenue stream for anybody that loses their job or is displaced or is not in a position to be able to earn an income. This can do it with your own physical activity. Never heard of that before.
And we've
Everybody's
seen it
been
already. Yeah.
so with that, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We got doing presentation at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and then training with Herschel, 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. So back to you, Ken.
Yep. Appreciate it, Brandon. Absolutely. Definitely thoughts and, a lot of good energy, positive energy for everybody that's going to be in the path or hopefully moving out of the path of storm that's, I think it's due Tuesday to landfall. So, um, yeah, but this platform has definitely been a blessing to a lot of people. And some of you all are new. You haven't heard the testimonies, but it's already some of the stuff Mr. Taylor was mentioning. It's already covered some of that stuff for people already in less than 90 days. So again, appreciate everybody being on tonight. Uh, we want you to be a part of this concept. If you have questions, get back with the person that invited you to hear this information tonight. If you have concerns, let's get those concerns addressed. There's really nothing to be concerned about. There's no question we haven't answered at this point, right? And if you're a person that just wants to sit back and watch and see how it develops, hey, that's you. But you're gonna definitely move tomorrow, and you should be getting rewarded for it. That's all I gotta say. So let's get involved. Let's get engaged. Let's get positioned. Each and every one of you, man. God bless you, Mr. Crow. You got anything? I saw you pop on the screen there. You good?
Not a thing.
All right, you out. You
Thank you
salute.
guys for coming
Good
out.
night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow
Next
morning
time.
on Mr. Ivy Zoom, and we'll see you on the chats, man. Good night, everybody. God bless.
Night.
Peace.